Yo, people, what we saying, what we spraying, back again with another About the Fan. And today, we got a Manchester City fan again. Hey, you didn't think it'd be possible, but I did manage to go and find another Manchester City fan to go and tell their story. And it is a brother of mine. So I am very happy to be able to have this conversation. But before I get into any of that, make sure you're doing a few things. Make sure you're liking up the video. Let's get as many channel will be in the building as possible. Yeah. Make sure you're subscribing to the Village Hidden in the North, my channel. Yeah. We're still trying to grow. And make sure you're also subscribing over at Never a Foul. Yeah. Don't be frauds. Also, make sure you're hitting the post notification. So whenever I go live or drop a video, you don't miss it, because, I mean, why would you want to? You know them way there. So, look, just a reminder, because, you know, there may be some new people in here that have never watched the show. Unfortunately, I cannot interact with the chat due to the structure of the show. This will, at some point, be on Spotify as a podcast. And what makes sense to all the live viewers watching now and on playback will not make sense to all the people listening on Spotify. Yeah. So any questions that you do have for Daps, yeah, just send them in as a super chat and he will answer all and any questions at the end. So yeah, look, like I said, just gave his name away, Daps. Spoiler alert, probably saw it in the thumbnail. One of my brothers, one of my bros, and he's one of the people that, you know, I truly offer a lot of thanks to in it, because without him, yeah, showing the love that he showed me when I got invited to his barbecue, yeah, that he hosts for all the content creators. He's out here helping everybody. I don't think I would be here where I am right now. You know, he's helped out my channel a lot. He's connected me with a lot of people. And he is one of the OGs in this thing. You might know his face. He's been everywhere. Even though sometimes he does like to throw the little yeah at Arsenal. Yeah, I still love him. And I still wish the best for him. Show him his flowers. Killing it in the game. My brother. My bro.
What an intro. Bro, it's, when I did something like this similar with Flawless and start off, bro, we wouldn't be where we are without you, right? And the key is, like, obviously a lot of people don't see the conversations that happen between me and Cass away from. But I remember when Hook started appearing on Never a Foul, because it was Cass that you. And I'm like, yeah. Obviously, I'm not on as many shows as Cass because I'm at work during the day, but I watch every show. Like, that's my entertainment at, like, lunchtime at work and whatever. And I remember being like, you know what? I like this Hooks guy. But also, you know what? I love how his energy, and he's helping us a lot. Like, during the summer, you helped us bear, because you know what it's like when trying to get panels together. It's not easy, man.
Yeah.
And you're just always there. And obviously as well, it's funny as well, because watching the transition, I don't know how long you've been aware of me, yeah, but I don't do as many shows as I used to when I first started, like 3 last night we were on the trenches, yeah. I call my first probably year and a half of doing YouTube the trenches, because I was doing 4 or 5 shows a night, easy, yeah. And I know, like, since obviously the last 6 months for you, Hooks, you'll get doing more and more shows. Yeah. And like, you know how the strain that takes.
Yeah.
Like, and people, I don't think necessarily get it. Yeah. But do you know what? There can be sometimes life's in the way. So then ultimately you're trying to do life, but then you've got to do shows. But then and that sometimes, even if you've won, you can be like, do you know what? I just want to live my life. I don't want to do 4 shows tonight. I want to live my life. But when the going gets tough and the tough gets going and you're on a bad run, yeah, and you're having to jump from stream to stream to stream of being cooked shamelessly, because that's all it is shameless cooking. Like, at this point, let's be real. Cooking Arsenal right now is shameless, right?
Yeah.
So that's all it is. And I like, so we appreciate, ultimately what I'm saying is we appreciate that even then, like the other night, you jumped on, even though like you'd already been on several shows, having to hear a load of shit, to then jump on in here. So it's love, bro. It's big love. And
Yeah.
you're the big friendly giant, bro. You're the big friendly giant. And
Oh
and
man.
yes, bro, you've had two. I am your second City fan, so there
Yeah.
are two of us.
It's been confirmed, people. There is 2 City fans in the
Even more
what. They
so, there's
are
one
real.
with a southern accent. Mad.
Yeah. Oh man, it's all love, man. But hey, look, like obviously because this is going to be getting put on Spotify and people don't always listen to the end, let's get it out of the way real quick. Where can the people find you? Should they so
Okay,
wish?
so first and foremost, most importantly, you can find me YouTube channel, Never a Foul, myself, Cass. You catch hooks on there very regular, and all of your favorites. That is our multi-club channel. That's what I call, that's the bread and butter. That's my baby from the start. And also, new YouTube channel coming, hot off the press. First show Wednesday. We are the South Star. We are the South Side. Sorry, we are the South Stand. And it's at on YouTube is We Are the South Stand MCFC. It's myself and Steve, but there's going to be every other City content creator on there as well. And it's our aim with that, just to put it really bluntly, is to become the #1 Manchester City fan channel. So not the #1, we are not it's not about me, it's not about Steve, it's a Manchester City channel. And we want it to be, we feel there's a gap there because City Extra have kind of stopped doing their thing. So we think, do you know what? Yeah, let's make a platform for Manchester City. And our aim with it is to not be shameless, not do the clickbait shit, none of that. It's City chat. And my thing is, listen, if you're a rival that can talk football unshamelessly, please subscribe to us. If you are a Manchester City fan, subscribe to us. If you're shameless, you know what? Save cooking me or cooking Steve or cooking. Do that on Never a Foul, innit? Like this is bro. This is, you know what? We want an echo chamber because all Liverpool fans have fucking echo chambers, yeah, where they can go on. Arsenal don't. You man have civil wars, but Liverpool fans have echo chambers where they all feel comfortable to speak about their wildest dreams. Yeah, I won the maddest one I ever caught one night was about 2 summer transfer windows ago, and I went on this one Liverpool channel and I heard them say that they're buying, I think it was Mbappe, Kane, and Vinicius all in one transfer window. And I was like, yeah, and they were all like, why can't we? We're Liverpool. And I thought, this is an echo chamber. And none of you believe in that till one of you says it. Then you're all massaging each other, going, yeah, you know what? You're right. We're Liverpool. We can get whoever we want. And the funniest one is I catch Roms and Monts in them sometimes, yeah. And Roms is a funny one because Roms tries not to be that guy on most shows. You catch him on an all Liverpool panel, yeah, and all of a sudden, Roms is getting very carried away. Very carried away. Hold tight, Roms. But nah, and then socials, MCFC Daps, Instagram predominantly.
Sweet. Perfect. So look, yeah. So
where do we start?
We are witnessing, one of Manchester City's worst starts.
Why have we got to start there? I thought we'd go back to the beginning. And you want to start with, oh no, let's talk about how shit City are at the moment.
No. Hey. Under Pep, yeah. What do you think actually went wrong? Did this drop off surprise you? And do you think you can still aim for the summit if you invest heavily in the January transfer window?
What, league this season?
Yeah.
Nah, bro. I tapped out on the league back in probably November, I think. Real talk.
So you don't think
real talk? Nah, not chance, bro. Not chance. You look at the point tally. Like, if we win all our games, I think someone can do maths, and I've said someone say 68, and I kept looking at that thinking, it's higher than that, yeah. But we can't. No, like the league is no. This season for me, where I am with it, is one of them ones where I want the season to. If we get Champions League football, and I mean just Champions League football, and win nothing else, yeah, then it's one of them ones where I go, fucking hell, that was a close shave. We got lucky, and we keep it moving, right? Because I'm not someone that, like, obviously there's some rivals that are going, that's it, this is City's drop off. And by the way, we're putting 115 to one side because that's different. And if that happens, we see what happens. Yeah. But people that think this is a drop off based on that's it, Pep's washed, the squad's washed. No, like, we will be back. If not next season we will be back a lot better the season after. You only have to look at the players we're bringing in right now, right, and the age of them. That I think it's pretty clear. Right, where I think it went wrong is, Danny. I think it's Mills. What's his name?
Danny Mills.
Danny Mills. I think said it. I saw a clip yesterday, and it's what I've been thinking for a while. In the summer, Pep had not made a decision, right? And I honestly think the board were like, and obviously we knew Tiki was going. So we've got the director of football and we've got Pep. These are the two people that have directed this football club, football-wise, tactics-wise, style of play-wise, for the last... I mean, Tiki's been there from before Pep. He got there before Pellegrini because it was their man that brought Pellegrini in, right? Yeah. So the Barcelona. So he's been there for, close to 10 years, maybe even longer. Pep's been there for 9 years. These two men have been leading the whole direction, the style of play, everything, yeah? So ultimately, the players coming in, everything, right? Now, Tiki, last summer, we knew he was going. So Khaldoon, the chairman, knew he was going. And Pep had not made a decision. And I honestly think Khaldoon was like, well, we've just won a league, so the squad can't be that bad. You can have Savio, and do you know what? You can have Gundogan on a free, yeah? But no problem. We'll sell players and we'll build a kitty for when either Pep, you decide if you're staying, 2, when our new director of football arrives, or 3, if Pep goes as a new manager. And until you sign a contract. I'm not, because, and it does make sense because if we look at Man United right now, the problem they have is every manager that comes in has got a pool of players that they don't want, right?
Yeah.
And doesn't suit the style of play. So I honestly right now, it's very easy for us to, and I've been guilty of, to criticize the board and say, do you know what? They got it wrong. They misplanned. Whereas actually, in hindsight, this might long-term be fucking brilliant, because if they would have gone out in the summer and bought some players and Pep didn't sign the contract, so the style of football changed, we could then be in a situation like Man United are in, where we've got loads of players on wages that the manager does not want, right? And I'm not saying this is, but I'm just trying to think, because I've always said our boards stay on top of the squad perfectly, right? They manage the age of the players and they get it right? That's why we've managed to be dominant. That's why, if you look at it, Pep inherited one player that is still in this squad, Kevin De Bruyne. Every other player, Pep has either brought through the youth team or gone out and bought, right? Him and Tiki. So they know how to keep the squad fresh. They know how to keep the squad motivated. For whatever reason, and that's what I think, that wasn't done in the summer because Pep had not signed. And I think that probably has had a knock-on effect. I think the board was slightly wrong, because I do think the board thought, this squad is good enough. And then I think what's happened is Pep said over previous years, it's difficult to keep motivating players to go again and again and again when they've won everything, right? And he said, I think when we won our second league in a row, Pep said, I don't know if this squad's going to be able to go again, because getting a group of players to retain it's one thing, to retain it again is another thing, right? We went on and did the treble, right? After that, I was like, I don't know if we can do it again, right? We did it again.
Yeah.
And I think this time what's happened is fatigue has set in on some of the players, mentally, physically. Injuries have happened. And then, because of that, the form has dipped. And now I think there are players there that, do you know what? They are finding it difficult to motivate themselves to go again, because of the age of them, because of the fact that they've won everything here, because of the fact that of how Pep is. Like, Pep looks like he loves the players and whatever. All you have to do is go and look at one of the documentaries. Pep will speak to these players in the same way as any other manager will. So some of these players are now like, Pep, you ain't spoke to me like this for a few years. I'm not really feeling the way you're speaking, and I'm a big man. And I've got offers in other countries for 300 bags a week. So I think all of that, and it's crippled us. It's killed our confidence, and that is why I'm here saying we ain't winning the league. Because of course, if over the next 6 weeks I see the Manchester City that I know we can be, then why not? Listen, we're the one team that anyone would say, you know what, City could. But I can't base my projections on that. I have to base my projections on the last, 6, 8 weeks?
Yeah.
And I can even go as close as recent as the West Ham game. Yes, we won 4-1, and to rivals, they're going, fuck, City are back. I watched the game, bro. Like, West Ham was strolling through our midfield like it was their local park, bro. It was just, real talk. Like, first half, we went 1-0 up, and I kept going. I was doing a watch-along going, if we do not get a second goal, we're going to end up fucking losing this game like so many others that we have not killed off, because we're just not looking the same at the moment. And, a few good players can change. Diaz coming back, and there's certain things that can improve us, but that's where I look at this our next, Salford today, forget that. But then after that, Brentford away, Ipswich away, PSG away, Chelsea at home,
Arsenal away.
Bruges at home. I think it's Bruges in the last game of the Champions League. Then we've got Arsenal away. We've got, I think, Newcastle at home. We've got Liverpool at home. We've got Tottenham away. Bro, we've got such a mad run, that I'm not going to, the second lot, when it gets to Arsenal away, them ones, I'm not going to judge so much on that, because this season, we can't be expecting to be, we should, right? But I'm not expecting to beat Arsenal at the Emirates this season. Let me be very clear with that. I'm not, right? I know where we are at the moment. But for me, the games where I look at is, right, Ipswich away, Brentford away, and Chelsea at home. They are 3 winnable games for me, yeah? But we can't be bums and win them, right? We have to perform at a Manchester City level, but they're winnable games. And then I will look at it and go, right, this is where I think we can finish. Not winning the league, top 4, because that has to be the aim. Because us not getting Champions League football, that's not good.
Yeah, that there would be that there would actually be a travesty in at least I believe.
To me, I mean, look, to the rest of the league,
it would affect the rebuild personally. In my opinion.
It would. I think that's probably why. Right. So, as an example, people think we're going to get Musiala. People think and I'm meaning not me. I'm real, but there's people out there that want Musiala or Wirtz or a couple of other players of that out. If we have Champions League football, there is no chance of us getting them. Right.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's why we're doing business in January. Maybe that's why, we're looking at Marmoush. Because I do think Marmoush is not exactly what City need at the moment, but Marmoush is probably a long-term Kevin De Bruyne, right? And I think they're probably thinking, you know what? We've got an opportunity to get him now. Let's strike hard and fast and get him through the door. Like, the age of the players that we seem to be going for is, and that's what I think, by the way. I think Pep, once we won a treble, once Pep took us to the holy grail of a Champions League, he signed a contract that I did not expect him to sign. I thought he was going to walk into the sunset at that point, because we've had him way too many years. Not too many in my eyes, but as far as if you look at Barca and Bayern, then the number of years at City. But I think they probably managed to get him to sign the extension based on this Club World Cup this summer, right?
Yeah.
The initial extension, right? I didn't expect there to be this one. I think this recent one that he signed in November, I think that is because with Tiki leaving and they've identified the age of the squad, I think the board have gone, you know what, we're going through, this is a transition for City. We are now going through transition. And Pep, can you just can't lose you and Tiki in the same fucking summer, right? Can you just stay to see us through the rebuild to a squad that is ready to go for the next 10 years? Because Pep, you've seen it between you and Pellegrini. You've seen it in a 10-year period. We now need to transition into the next 10-year period. It's going to be rocky times. Can you stay with us, Pep, for 10 years? Because one, we need someone to guide us. But 2, Pep is pull. Yeah, like if Pep had not signed that contract in November, this transfer window right now would be more difficult because you'd be saying, "Oh, can you come to City? You are currently going through the worst form you've seen in a long time, and also we don't know who their manager is going to be in the summer." Well, people are going to be looking at that project going, "Don't know about that one," because the truth is, however much we're getting bigger and bigger, we're not Liverpool, we're not Arsenal, we're not Man United, so we have to have certain things in our project to make people want to join us, and Pep is one of them.
Yeah. And you know what? That leads perfectly onto my what if question. Yeah. A magical world question.
I had this one with the gal.
So
The gal's one was sick.
So it turns out Manchester City wasn't able to do the 5p this season, innit? And this is something that has
Who wins it then?
We don't know yet. This is something that has immensely annoyed Pep, yeah? And he's requested to the board, yeah, that they hire in you, Daps, yeah, to help them try and achieve this 5p. He wants to go again. What changes do you make in your first summer as head of everything at Manchester City to regain the Premier League title?
Right, and are we saying that we haven't, like, this ultimately no signings have been made in January? The squad is as it is at this point.
Do you know what? I'll be fair. So you've just recently signed someone already, right?
Yeah. Well, it's good as it's not been officially announced, but yeah, it's pretty much done.
Pretty much on the way.
Yeah, can't pronounce his name yet. I need to get my head around that one. I'll Google it and look it up.
You haven't got Marmoush yet, but it seems like
looks like it's going to happen.
It looks like it's going to happen. So we can just assume that Marmoush is there. So you got those 2 people. We don't know who else you're going to get. So just assume you only signed those 2 players in January, and now come the summer, you have the ability to change anything. And it doesn't even just necessarily need to be bringing players in. It could be stuff like getting players out culturally. It could be changing certain things in the club. It could be, I don't know, trying to secure Pep down to a longer contract than what he's already on. It could be whatever. But
I think, do you know what? I actually think genuinely with Pep, like I think he's signed, he's signed, I think, a year, something like a 2-year, but could be another year or something like that. I leave the manager because I think ultimately when Pep decides to go, he should go, because I think he has been working and it could be getting to him a bit. Right. So first and foremost, Walker. I wish so much that Walker went in the summer because Walker is a club legend. Walker will always be a club legend. We hadn't won, like under Pep, we didn't win no trophies till Walker, Bernardo and Ederson joined us. So for me, Walker is a club legend and I hate to see the way he's going out. We generally get rid of players at the right time. Zabaleta, Company, Silva, Yaya, Aguero, Fernandes. Everyone's gone at the right time. Gundogan went at the right time. Bringing Gundogan back in hindsight, and yes, I got excited, was wrong because it's the first time where we're having to throw a bit of shade at players that I fucking love. Like, and this is why I always say I don't want Vincent Kompany to ever manage Manchester City, because like we'll move on to Vinny later. Vinny means a lot to me. Like, so I don't want to have to throw shade at players. And so Walker, I wish he would have gone in the summer so he could have got that final day send off and not have to see all the shit he's seeing online from City fans. Like, and let me be clear, it's not game going City fans, and I'll tell you that factually it isn't. But first thing I would do is address that fucking 6th position, bro. This is the one thing we can say as fans. We were all screaming it in the summer. Like Rodri been screaming, listen, I'm tired. He kept screaming it. He even got a couple like the first 4 or 5 games of the season off because he was tired. He came back and got an injury first game. Now, if that is not, we had ample warning. So I would address, I've been saying for ages, I'm not a scout. I don't watch like Cass watches bare football. I watch Premier League football. I watch Manchester City, right? But I love Bruno G. I think Bruno G would have been the perfect guy to come in and do, because he can do the 8 role, no problem whatsoever. He's got a bit of dog in him. His passing range is very fucking good. He played a pass the other day for Newcastle that was so City-esque. It was like, yes, I see that pass and I see it overlapping a winger running onto it, or overlapping fullback running onto it. Like, it's perfect. So Bruno G, or if there's someone out there with a similar ability as him, no problem. But I think also the fact of his age, his hunger, because he hasn't really won much. I'd love Bruno G. I'm not going to lie. Every game I see, I'm liking more and more Tonali. I think Tonali's... And, bro, my man's cold going forward, but he's more than happy to sit back and just mop shit up as well. So and it's getting to a point where I'm looking at Tonali thinking, do you know what? Maybe I'd actually rather Tonali than Bruno. But we had this conversation the other day. Joe Linton, this season, if you were to ask me in the January transfer window, I might just go and get fucking Joe Linton. Go and surprise. Newcastle are there protecting Bruno G and protecting Isaac. Where we are at the moment, just go and get me Joe Linton. Go and surprise them and go, here, have some money for Joe Linton, because he'll come in and he'll make our midfield difficult to walk through, right? That's all we need to do, is a park attendant to make sure people aren't going for strolls in our park, because that's what's happening. So, but that's the main thing for me would be, bro, I'd make our midfield back to how it was. Like, our midfield used to be so strong. And I'm not even meaning, I'm meaning every era. Mancini, Pellegrini, Pep. Our midfield was so physical, always has been so physical. And that's what kills it at the moment. There's nothing physical about our midfield whatsoever. So I would be throwing we got Haaland, we've got ample wingers, right? We've got Marmoush now coming that can play in a more advanced role. So for me, it would be, I'd go and get a right back 1,000,000%. Or maybe, because I actually think in a Pep system, the thing that works the most proven is 4 centre-backs, right?
Yeah.
Whether we look at the treble season, or even if we look at this season, when we played Forest in the middle of our worst run of games, we played that one game, we had 4 centre-backs available. We kept a clean sheet, right? 3-0 win, right? Against Forest, who were flying at the time. So it shows centre-backs works for us. So maybe this new guy that's coming in, the 20-year-old, he might be perfect for that. Because I'm not mad at having... City fans love Frimpong. Frimpong would be great to be there for vibes. But if we're being real, Frimpong don't suit a City style whatsoever. I like Frimpong. I think Frimpong's a character for the dressing room, but I don't think he suits our style of play. So I'd ultimately be throwing the bag at our midfield, bro. Like, literally, just go and get me 3 8s that can... Do you know what? Go and get me 3 8s, bro. Go and get me 3 fucking 8s. Like, bro, deep it. Do you know, at one point we had fucking Fernandinho, Yaya, prime young Kevin De Bruyne, and perfect age David Silva. That was our fucking midfield, bro. And at the moment, you look at it and it's like Kev and Kev has to go in the summer. We must, by any means, Kevin De Bruyne must go in the summer, right? I don't want to see us extend his contract. I don't think we will. We mustn't, because this time, if we do, he's going to play very few games next season, or we're going to end up seeing him strolling in the park because he can't run no more. And then people are going to start throwing shade at Kevin De Bruyne. We must let him go and live his life. Must. And Bernardo as well. He needs to go as well. Unfortunately, one of my favourite players, but Bernardo, like that's probably the other thing. We got to look at them, man, and go, do you know what? Spread your wings, fly. Go and secure your bag.
Yeah. This is why the rebuild in the summer is going to be arguably one of the most important rebuilds that you've witnessed as a City fan, because you've got there's so many key players that have to leave that you also have to address at the same time. Yeah. So I hear what you're saying about the midfield.
And do you know what? If you deep it, if you look at the summers where City has spent a lot of money, right? Because people will always go about, like, people always go, 50 million on right backs. That's the one, that one summer, not Pep's first summer when he joined, because after his first season that summer, we spent a lot of money. We did. We brought in Edison, Walker, Bernardo Silva, and a few other players, right? And I think in the January before that summer, we brought in Laporte as well. But in hindsight, after that point, that's where we started winning trophies. So when people say about City spending money, we spent money that summer rebuilding our defence, right? And then we got 100 points and won the league, right?
Yeah.
So that worked. If you look at the other summer that people would probably was the summer where we bought Fernandinho. No, sorry, not Fernandinho. We bought David Silva and Yaya Toure in one summer. But, bro, again, that fucking was our midfield that led us to win our first league, our first FA Cup, and all of that. So the two times that we have really gone and fucking not messing about whatsoever, in hindsight, that built where we are now. So this is you're spot on. This summer, we have to get it right. And yeah, do you know what as well? Because of the fact that we haven't spent a lot of the money that we've been earning recently, this is where the board is like, you know what? You've taken in a lot of money. We're net profit champions at the moment. Yeah, great. Go and spend that money now because and the sad thing is, unfortunately, you are going to get inflated prices because we left it to this, right? If you would have rebuilt last summer, we would have been able to do the thing where we go and say, now we're Man City, our squad's good, we're winning leagues, we don't need this player. But listen, if you want to sell him, we'll give you money. And if they say, no, we want more, we go, okay, we're walking away. We don't need him. We can't do that now. We have to go, oh, all right, yeah, we'll pay it because we've left it one season too long.
Okay, so you're saying you would address the midfield.
Right back, or maybe not. One defender, ultimately. Yeah, I'd probably prefer a centre back that can play right back. But and then address the midfield. Going forward, bro, I'm cool with what we got right now.
So you're cool. You would be cool to go into next season with the target of regaining the Premier League.
Yeah, but it has to be every season, bro. Has to be.
With Haaland and Marmoush. Because I would assume that Marmoush would kind of be like, okay, we got rid of Alvarez. That's kind of an L. We should have kept him. Marmoush is coming and he's going to be that.
Yeah. So because I think as well, Oscar Bob, back in the last season, summer, even start of the season before he got injured, I think he played one game and it was his first game pretty much. I think he got injured on it. But anyway, Oscar Bob is a goal scorer, right? Yeah. Oscar Bob, is not like Doku. Like, he's a different player to Doku. He's a different player to Savio. He's a different player to Grealish. So I think you got to remember Oscar Bob's going to be there. It is going to be Savio's second season, so their expectations are higher. Doku, third season, expectations higher. Foden, fuck me. My expectations can't be any higher than they already are because, he's my... I'll be real, bro. One of our own love him to bits, but he's the one that I have my spotlight on.
Yeah. He's going to have to...
He has to step up, bro. You know what? Yeah. It is what it is. This season, I expect it. He still needs to step up every fucking game this season. But next season, if you want to draw a line under it, because the whole squad have been underperforming, no problem. But if Foden does not step up, either back end of this season or next season, there's got to be serious fucking questions about him.
Yeah, serious conversations.
You can't have 2 seasons off for me. Can't.
Yeah,
it's not allowed.
Yeah, you really can't. Especially considering
he's on the pedestal, bro. We gave him, and this is the whole thing. As a fan base, as a player, as a club, if we accept accolades, we have to then understand that you are then judged based on those accolades, right? Now, 100%. We have put Foden, and the only thing I don't like is where Foden's form this season, people try and then use that to, he shouldn't have got play with the season. No, last season is a different season, right? Yeah. At the start of last season, everyone was saying with Kevin De Bruyne injured, Foden has to step up. And Foden stepped the fuck up last season, yeah? Whether you want to do GA or whether you actually watch games, Foden was winning us games that in the past, it's been like, De Bruyne will do something and win us that game. Last season, in the back end of the season, Foden was doing that, yeah? So we can't, Foden deserved to get that. Of course, there are other people that I also thought were very good last season, but Foden deserved that. We said you must step up, and he stepped the fuck up. So last season, but this season, I'm judging him based on, I've seen what you can do. right? That's
Yeah.
why you got the award. So this season, I'm looking at it thinking, nah, like, and I've thought maybe there might be certain reasons behind it. I've heard other reasons, but ultimately, if we're not being told those reasons, and to be honest with you, like, if I haven't heard those reasons off of people up there that I know that are in the know, and like I'm talking people that know him, and I've messaged him and said, "Have you heard like X, Y, and Z?" And they're like, "Nah, bro, spoke to the family the other day. Everything's all good." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So ultimately, I don't know what this is. I think the England thing really impacted Foden. I think the summer. I think it really impacted him, bro. I think, and he did underperform. Let me be clear. I thought he was good. I think probably. Do you know what it was? Foden defensively is bad. You know.
He's kind of I don't like to use the word, but
He don't do, bro.
like,
I've
he's
been
like a
thinking.
luxury player.
He is,
Well, not
bro. He's
luxury.
Ozil. He's like, oh, fucking hell. He's like
Yeah,
Ozil, bro.
He-
Ozil, what I
he's
mean, but that's harsh because Ozil's a different type
yeah.
of player to him. But what I mean, you like, so
He needs. Do you know what he actually needs?
he
He
looks lost
actually
defensively, bro. He looks
he
lost.
needs he needs Yaya Toure in the
Yeah.
midfield.
Do
He
you know what
needs
it is, right?
yeah
When I watch him, and I watched it for England, I thought it before the summer, right? But then I watched him for England, yeah. And let me put this out there. I think Phil Foden is a very like uber talented footballer.
yeah
If you come up through an academy and also through England schoolboys, and you're the captain of England schoolboys, and you're the talk of the town at your academy, yeah, genuinely, usually there's a reason. If you look at
yeah
your club and who your youngers are, right, the ones that people have been speaking about for years, they're now in the first team, and they're cooking when they get chances for the first team. There's a reason why people talk about that. So Foden is a very talented footballer, right? However, I'm happy to concede that Foden is a system player, right?
yeah
Because guess what? If you come up through academy that only teaches you one system, then you're going to become a system player because you know
yeah
that system. And Foden plays Pep football, which is not about defending. It's about the best form of defense is keeping the ball, right?
yeah
And Foden can do that perfectly. What we saw in the summer is Foden playing in a different system, right, for England, where the minute they scored a goal, it was all about defending. Now, if you watch Foden, every time he dropped deep into a defensive role, the man looked like he did not even know where to go. Like he's not staying with runners. He's defensively, and I've seen it this season with City as well, that the guy in a Pep system, when it's maintaining the ball, keeping the ball, all of that, pressing, he can press from the front brilliantly. He's a great presser. But when it comes to defensive work, I honestly think Foden is really, like, not bad, like Trent level bad.
yeah.
Trent
No,
level bad, bro.
I hear that. I do hear that. All right, cool. So got a bit of idea into how you think you can regain the title. So
Not this year, though. Let me be clear.
yeah, for the following season.
Not this year.
Don't worry. We're not trying to be shameless over here. It's not that type of party. But so tell me about your journey as a Manchester City fan.
Good. I was hoping you're
How
gonna
did
do
it
that.
start? Why
So,
did you choose Manchester City? And has there been a moment in your journey where you've questioned your decision?
so probably the question, if I explain a bit, so I was born in Barnet. Yeah. My dad was from Boreham Wood. My mum was from Potter's Bar. Yeah. So Hooks, you know both them places,
Yeah.
right? If you know Boreham Wood, that's where, and my mum and dad lived in Boreham Wood, right? Which is basically Boreham Wood is suburb on the outskirts of London. My real dad was a Watford fan. My mum's dad, so my granddad, was a Arsenal fan.
Oh,
Bro, because my mum's family were from Barnet. Like he was an Arsenal fan, went Highbury regular. My dad, who was a Watford fan, used to go Highbury with my granddad, right? When he wasn't going Vicarage Road. This is before I was born. And obviously also Arsenal's training ground is literally next to Boreham Wood. It's what's it called? London Colney, isn't it?
yeah.
So when I was born, I guess odds were I was going to be a Watford fan, innit? Realistically, unless my granddad got hold of me, I was going to be a Watford fan. And then when I was 3, my mum and dad broke up, and like one day I was in North London or Boreham Wood, the next day I was in Manchester, like that, literally. Obviously, as a kid, you don't know. 1 minute you're here, next minute you're here. 1 minute this guy's raising you, next minute, oh hey, you're my dad now, are you? Like one of them ones, literally. And I kind of like, I can't say I remember at the age of 3 or 4, but I remember like when you start getting your memories around the age of 5 or 6. I remember my real dad, like when I would see him, he'd have a Watford kit for me. But by these times, I'm living in Manchester, and like my stepdad was a City fan, and my stepdad's dad was a City fan, and my stepdad's dad was a City fan. I got told stories about, Tony Book bringing the trophy round to my granddad's house and stuff like that. And like my sister's married to a Scouser. My sister's a City fan. My niece and nephew, whose dad is a Scouser, and his dad, my brother-in-law's dad, started up the Hillsborough charity fund. Like he's deep in Liverpool, yeah?
Yeah.
My niece and nephew are City fans. Everyone up there is City. So although my real dad might be sending me Watford kits, I'm in Manchester. I'm going to Main Road, and I'm round other City fans, and I'm being bought City kits. So it was kind of like, I'm a City fan. So by the time I was like 5 and first starting to wear kits and go to football training, it was just City in it. That's all it was. And then what you asked about, so I guess that was the only time there's ever been a question in my mind, ever, right? Because from a young age, I was taken to football by my dad to go to football, right? We're City fans. He used to go to football with his dad and go Main Road with his dad. Now, he's got a son because my stepdad, who I call dad, by the way, or called dad, rest in peace, his daughters, he had 2 daughters from previous marriage. So I was basically, although I was his stepson, I was his son in it. He had a son now to take to the football. So we're going Main Road every week, and all it was about was, it's bonding time. It's you support this club and you go and watch them. Like, I can honestly tell you as a kid, thinking about, are we going to win this game? Thinking about, are we going to win? Never crossed my mind. Bro, it just didn't. And I swear on my life, like, winning was not a thing. Like, winning games made the evening better, but losing a game didn't suck it out of us. Because, bro, and by the way, these times we were a Premier League team. This wasn't like, because I'm talking, by the time I'm going to games and what it's like 92, 93, 94, early days of the Premier League. Like, that's my era. Bro, do you know what I thought? Check these. Look at the size of this. That's my first ever City kit.
Proof is not a recent thing.
Bro, like, and you know, because it's got the umbrella, and I've got, but yeah, it wasn't about winning back then. It was about supporting your club. Winning was great, but it was, and I'm still of that mindset now. And I had a really interesting conversation with an Everton fan when I was on the way up to Manchester a couple of weeks ago. The train was full of Everton after they'd played you lot, and I was like, "Yeah, we're shit at the moment." I go, "Yeah, but we're shit at the moment." And he goes, "You're not, are you?" He goes, "You look old enough to know you're not shit, are you? You've seen shit."
Yeah.
And he goes, and I go, "Do you know what?" I go, "This is where I never wanted to be, right? Where football impacts my moods, right? Because it never used to, because losing was not a thing back then. Like, bro, 95, we lost last game of the season to Queen's Park Rangers 3-2. And it's the most I ever celebrated at Main Road, right? Because Blackburn Rovers won the league, not Man United. That's what we celebrated. Like, back then, bro, we were like Spurs. But in fact, you know what? We were very similar to Spurs back then, in fact, because we were around them times. When the Premier League first started, City weren't finishing in the relegation zone. City weren't like finishing round mid-table, slightly above mid-table. Like, we weren't bad, but we weren't good. We were just there, innit? Kind of one of them ones. But yeah, it's mad now when I look at it, and it's funny. I think the Tottenham game. I was speaking to one of my mates who goes everywhere with his son, and I go, "What? Like, did you leave after the third?" And he goes, "No, did I fuck?" He goes, Jensen needs to witness what I witnessed as a kid. Like, he goes, all these young City fans have had it too nice. Like, he's only ever seen us lose like 12 games in his whole life, right? And he's like 10 years old or something, yeah? Like, he goes, so he needs to see what we saw as kids. Otherwise, like the young City kids, their heads are gone at the moment, bro. Like, so, nah, never ever. And like I said, bro, football for me, although winning makes it taste a whole heap better, yeah, and I'm not going to lie, the last couple of years have been absolutely sensational. But for me, football as a sport is our release, isn't it? We work hard during the week, or we work hard during the day, and then in the evening or at the weekend, we catch up with faces that we don't see during the week. Oh, what you saying? How's your week been? We've been shitting. We talk about football, and that's our release as men, innit? That's our couple of hours away from the other half or whatever, where we're just round like-minded people. That's why I love European aways, because you go away and you're solely round like-minded City fans, right? And so there's no shameless shit or nothing. It's just, so yeah, that's what football is about me. And sometimes I have to reality check myself at the moment a bit, because it's not that bad. Things ain't that bad.
Nowhere near. Like, obviously, when you look at the wider perspective, I talk about this a lot. But when you look at the wider perspective, like, it's not that bad. And the thing is as well, there's still, like, Premier League speaking, like, there's still loads of games left to like change your fortune. So you could, the shameless
Do you know what it is? It's just a drop, because I've said for a few years now, if a season we don't win the league is a bad season. That's where it's got to now, yeah, which is fucking mad when you think about it. If you're saying, like I've said before, if we win a League Cup and an FA Cup, that's a bad season, right? That's where we are right now. And within the space of a year, within the space of 4 months, I'm honestly telling you, I want Manchester City to go out of the Champions League, because I think the longer we stay in that fucking tournament, the less chance we have of getting Champions League football next season, right? Because I think where our squad is at the moment, what's the point in staying in a competition that I do not believe we have a chance in hell of winning this season, right? It's just games and games. And that's just me being honest with you. Like, do you know what? I'll say if our form picks up in January and we do get players in, then yeah, we might have and I actually thought this the other day. Do you know what? Because I'm probably not going to get too many more European aways this season. A day out at Wembley might be nice this season, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I will want an FA Cup run a bit more, but it's gone for me thinking we must win the Premier League and I want a very good fucking run in the Champions League, ideally semis or finals, to all of a sudden I'm here saying, I don't know if going out the Champions League is a good thing for us this year. And fuck me, I hope we get top 4, right? In the space of a couple of months. It's mad. But at the same time, you have to then go, but you know what? It's not that bad. Like,
it's not. It's really not. It really, at least in my opinion, it really isn't that. It's nothing to cry about. Like, it's nothing for Man City fans to lose their heads over. Like, just accept it, take it on the chin.
Because look, this month as well, I expect the 115 hearing to be announced at some point this month, and we don't know what that brings. So, you know, if we're already, we need to be strong, because, and I hope, that whatever comes out of that is good news. And then, fuck me, I'm going to have an absolute field day. Although we're still going to be accused of everything anyway. But the truth is, the honest truth on 115 is, I've heard loads of stuff that's positive, right? Rivals have heard loads of stuff that's negative. But none of us know anything.
I honestly don't. I honestly, from my perspective, I honestly don't care what happens. Like, obviously, there's always going to be that moment when I'm on like a show and I'd be a bit shameless.
That's what we do, bro.
But in when I take a step back, like the thing that I'm thinking about is that's like there's like a whole fan base, yeah, that
Yeah,
just don't deserve this. Like they've done
spot on, bro.
absolutely like they haven't done anything wrong. So if it turns out that your owners or whatever did a bit of dodgy dealings or whatever, 'cause I haven't really looked too much into it, whatever
Yeah,
it
yeah.
may be, it's not the fans that
No,
did
and
any of it.
the sad thing is, bro, every club does dodgy shit. Like,
Yeah,
and this is I don't want to get into it too much, but when you look at football club owners, right, take the rivalry out of it for a second and think about the type of people you were talking about, right? Football
yeah,
club owners, right? You're looking at a certain type of people, right? Now, and I'm not giving my opinion on it, but what I'm going to say is that certain type of people, if you take rivalry out of it, what is your view on that certain type of people, right? What is your view predominantly on the, let's call them 1%? I don't know if they are in the 1%, but I'm meaning these mega filthy fucking rich people, yeah? Away from club rivalry, what is your view on most of them? Now, I think most people's view on those people is that they've done a lot of dirty shit to get where they are, right?
yeah, yeah,
And that's the truth on every single owner, right?
yeah,
You can then look at maybe the pockets of where certain owners are from and other owners are from, and that there might be ulterior motives and all of that, and why
yeah,
certain clubs get looked at more than other clubs and all of that, yeah? But you are spot on, Hooks. As football fans, like, you should never really and truly, like, of course, for you, Spurs, you can wish whatever you want on them. For me and Man United fans and me and Liverpool fans, like, I might wish a certain way towards them, but really and truly, we're all just football fans. And like, we got lucky with our owners. We did. Yeah. We got very lucky. Like, and we got so lucky that if they didn't come in, fuck me, we might not be here now, because that Sinatra that owned us before was running us red. He had
yeah,
us in debt that we could not afford and all sorts. So we could have been in a really fucking bad place. Like,
yeah,
and they came in, they've saved us, and they've given us some of the best years of my life, some of the best memories of my life that I never thought I was going to have. I never even dreamed of winning a league or FA Cup. Honestly, never thought about it, bro. Did not think about winning trophies as a kid, yeah? My dad told me, because my dad was about to see City do a league and European Cup double, yeah?
yeah,
Right? My dad's seen trophies, yeah? Because despite what people say, yes, City actually did win trophies before the new owners,
yeah,
yeah? We were a more successful club than Chelsea before money, right?
yeah,
And that's the truth, factually, yeah?
yeah,
But I never dreamt of any of that. They came, they got me to live a dream, right? That's where I am with Newcastle. Let Newcastle spend some fucking dough, man. Let these fans, because they're a loyal bunch of fans, yeah? Like, and this is where I look at fan bases. We set the average record when we dropped to the third tier of English football, 32,000 average across the season, yeah? Sunderland have now beat it. But that is our core. So whatever you think about maybe bandwagon jumpers, whatever you think about, you should not think anything. If a kid is under the age of a certain age and they decide to support a team, that's their business. They're kids, man, right?
yeah,
But bandwagon jumpers, I don't like them. But for the core loyal City fans that have been there, do you know what? We got given a fucking dream, right? If I see another group of fans get given that dream, I'm like, do you know what? Fair play. And I always say to my friends that are Arsenal fans, this time round, now you're back in the Champions League. Whatever you do, and I'm telling you, Hooks now, whatever you do, yeah, get to some European aways, bro, because that is the pinnacle. Like, and it's a different feeling, bro. If you're there, like I was lucky to be there the season we won the Champions League, right? And for all the group stages aways, all the knockout stages aways, yeah. And bro, going on that journey and feeling like, and this is where the heritage thing is really interesting, because if you ask any City fan that was at Leipzig away, right? That season we won the Champions League. Now we drew that game, but if you ask any City fan that was at Leipzig away, they will tell you it felt different. There was this buzz amongst the fan base in Leipzig, yeah, that we're doing something. And at that point, by the way, we just got the 115 charges. We weren't performing that well in the Premier League, but everyone could feel in the Champions League something felt different, right? And to experience that, it's just different to see your fan base at all. You know what? We're fucking doing this year, and it's so mad to me. This is that you have to learn things in the Champions League is different to the Premier League. You have to learn. You have to experience a loss at the Bernabeu, bro. You have to experience that to fucking realize, because that season when we did the draw for the quarters and the semis, the quarters was first leg Etihad, second leg Bayern. And I was on a stream with Steve and a few other people. Yeah, I was on City's channel, in fact. And I was going, where is the semi-final if we beat Bayern was against Real Madrid? And I was going, where is the second leg? Where is the second leg? And someone goes, we're at the Etihad. And I said, right, I'll tell you right now. If we beat Bayern in the first leg at the Etihad, we are winning. We are going to the final. I don't know who we're going to play, but we're going to the final because second leg, Real Madrid at the Etihad, we're beating them. We're beating them. And then when we went to Real Madrid first leg and drew with them, I'm like, oh, this is a fucking wrap. Because we're taking them back to the Etihad that is a fortress. And it's so mad that with the Champions League, you have to experience hurt. And there's the City documentary, The Season, the Treble. But there's a documentary that was also done that was released about City's journey in the Champions League. Not that season, across the years, yeah? And it's mad when you watch it, how we're getting closer and closer and we're experiencing things. And this is why I was saying to Arsenal fans last season when it was your first season back, and they're like going, why can't we win it? I'm like, because the Champions League is about experience. It's about experiencing hurt. Like, you have to be hurt. Like, it's mad, but the players have to be hurt to then go again. The one sad thing with the Champions League for me is that Aguero and David Silva never got to lift it. That for me is like, fucking hell. Losing to Chelsea with them man in the squad, that hurt a lot. You know what, bro? I cried that night. I'm not gonna lie. I cry a lot already, but I cried when we won the Champions League. Me and Steve were just looking at each other, going, we've fucking done it. We've done it. We've done it. It was mad. And that's why I want to win a second now, because the first one was a feeling of release, because the amount of pressure we'd had put on the club about, you can't win a champion. Yeah, you're doing all this in England, but you can't win a Champions League. You can't win a Champions League. You can't win a Champions League. When we won it, and that morning, sorry, I know I go on a bit, Hooks, but I've got to tell this story, right? I woke up and I've gone down to breakfast, and on the way down, I watched this City video it was about a minute long, and it was about this time, because obviously, and it just kept saying this time, and it was basically going flashbacks to the Chelsea one and that season, and it was saying, but this time's different. And I felt a tear, right? I thought, fucking hell, today's going to be an emotional day. Got down to breakfast with Lee and Steve, and I remember Steve was on the phone because he'd forgot, he's on the wrong network. He ran up in Istanbul, he ran up about £500 phone bill because he was on the wrong network, right? And he was trying to sort that out. Then when he got off, I said, have you seen this thing on City? This video? And he goes, no, what's it about? And I said to him, he goes, no, I can't. He goes, it'll fucking bring tears to my eyes. And I go, right, so I'm not the only one feeling emotional today. And he was like, nah, like it's, and I remember walking around like at the fan zone before and whatever, and speaking to City fans. And I had to put my sunglasses on because it was getting me emotional. Like, and it was mad, bro. It's so mad. Obviously, I was drinking as well. When you drink, you get more emotional. But I could find myself getting mad, thinking about my dad and like the first trophy I saw lifted with him and whatever. And it was so mad. So when we won that, bro, it was just like, the pressure's off now. Like, so I'd just say, Hooks, if you can, get some European aways. Fuck the homes. Honestly, fuck home games. Yeah. Save up and do a European away because it's special.
So obviously you've been speaking about a lot of moments. What would you say is the moment that resonates with you the most? So like everything you've experienced so far, like what would you say is the one moment that, you know, one day, you know, when you're old and grey, you'll have grandchildren. They'll be saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
what did you do? What like, granddad? You know what's your
So,
favorite moment as a Man City fan? Like, what would that one moment be?"
So there's bear, because this is a thing and you know what, when people see CB getting emotional, I kind of try and defend it a bit at times, because do you know what, football means different things to different people, yeah. But
Yeah,
like I've said to you, football to me was about going to the games with my dad. So the Aguero moment, like straight away when you say it, there's two things that come to like. There's two things that nothing can touch, no matter what. However good, they're not amazing achievements, but two things that the Aguero moment and Vincent Company. And the reason is because both of them just bring flash, like, it's my dad, right? Uh, So 93-20, I wasn't at the game, our first Premier League, because my dad was too unwell to go to games. Like he was like dementia, like limited time, couldn't leave the house. And like, so I said, yeah, last game of the season, I'm not going. I'm going to watch it with you, Dad. And I remember I said to my wife at the time, look, last game of the season, going over to my mum and dad's to watch it. You can come if you want, but I'm not going to lie, it could get emotional. Yeah. So she was like, okay. So came over there, and obviously we're 1-0 up, strolling. Cool. 1-1, 2-1. Now, my dad for me is like, he's a proper old school man. Didn't speak too much, and even more so once with dementia and all of that, really didn't speak too much. And he'd just sit there. And that was the only time I saw my dad cry. Sorry.
no, that's cool, man.
But
Take
it
your
was the
time.
only time I saw my dad cry. It was when City lifted the league that time. And it was just like that. So nothing can ever beat that, bro. Like, and that's why Vinny, because after the game, after we won it, seeing Vinny speak with the passion, and like Vincent Company, it just, to me, he reminds me of my dad because of those memories. So nothing will ever beat that, because it's like the only trophy, like the only league I got to witness with my dad. And like there's moments at games that have been like obviously the Champions League, but then another one would be the season we beat Liverpool to the league again, where we were 2-0 down against Villa. Bro,
Yeah,
that for being, obviously the Champions League, nothing can top the Champions League. But the thing about the Liverpool Villa one was the whole season was a build up where it's, you know what, we're thinking Liverpool going to win it. Then we've crept up, but we had like, and that season as well, that's again a bit of an emotional one for me, because that season I was going through from January that year. Me and my ex-wife decided to divorce, and the minute we decided to divorce, it was like, right, you know what? Weekends, I'm getting back to my happy place, which is I'm going to every fucking game, right? And I remember the first game was Chelsea at the Etihad, and I remember the minute I got inside there, and I'm not having to look at my phone because I've got an ex saying, "What time are you coming home?" and none of that. And I looked, Soups came with me, and I was like, bro, I feel free and I feel happy. I feel back like when I was a kid, where I'm just here to enjoy the football. And then from that season, I've threw myself into everything. Going like that season, I think was Atletico away, Mint away trip, Real Madrid away where we lost. Then Liverpool knocked us out of the FA Cup, but then we're like going like that with Liverpool, and then we beat Wolves 4-1 on a Thursday night away from home. And I remember driving home from Wolves away thinking, we're going to do this. I think we're going to do this, you know. And then that game again, we go 2-0 down. And I remember loads of people in the South Stand had radios. And like, and I had always remembered the guy sat next to me, because I started, when we went 2-0 down, I think, and at half time, it's mad. When we went back to get your drinks and whatever, there's beef going on because everyone's thinking, fuck's sake, we're flaking this. Now, the mad thing about that last day of the season is we were top for the whole day, right? Although we were 2-0 down, because Liverpool, we were playing Aston Villa, Liverpool were playing Wolves. Because Liverpool had not gone ahead in their game when we were 2-0 down, we were still top. But because of the way Liverpool are, we were all expecting Liverpool to score. And I remember, like, early part of the second half, I've gone to look at my phone to look at the Liverpool score, and the guy next to me's gone, "We don't need them." I go, "Bro, I'm not being funny." It's like probably 55th minute, something like that. I'll go, "We need Liverpool. We need Wolves to do something because we're 2-0 down, bro, and Villa are looking all right. Like, we need something." Then he goes, "Well, we don't need nothing. Don't worry. We do this. This is what we do now in the league. Yeah. We fight to the end." And I was like, and I almost was like getting a bit aggy, like, "Bro, we need something. Yeah. We've got this trophy. We're about to hand it away." Then we scored 1 goal. And bro, this is what I can refer to in that game at the Etihad is the same as the feeling of when Real Madrid get a goal in a second leg at the Champions League knockout stages, yeah? Because the minute Real Madrid get 1 goal, the whole stadium knows we're doing this. When we scored that first goal against Aston Villa, it was ballooning in the stands. Everyone's falling over. We're still 2-1 down, right? Everyone's going. I ran about 15 steps back to Steve, fucking cuddling him, yeah, because he was a bit further back. Then everyone's fucking going, "We're going on the pitch." Bro, at this point, we're still 2-1 down, but everyone is going, "We're going on the pitch. We're going on the pitch. We're going on the pitch." And that is our thing at the end of the season. We go on the pitch. And it's literally, that's what we do now. It's by any means, we're getting on the pitch. And it's funny, even to the point where I got kicked out the season before because I was in a different part of the stand trying to get there. And security tried to stop me getting from one tier to the lower tier. And I was like, "I tell you what, let's play Bulldog. If I can get through you," because they were going, "You're not going to get on the pitch this year. We've upped our security." And I was like, "Let's play Bulldog. If I can get through the 2 of you, good luck stopping the South Stand from getting on that fucking pitch. We're going on the pitch. That's what we do." And ran at them, got through them, got out the toilet, yeah. And then the Fairmore security just grabbed me up and were like, "Yeah, and threw me out." And I had to go and watch the last 15 minutes of the Chelsea game. I didn't see the trophy lift the season before last because I've got kicked out. But yeah. So that game was mad. Like the way we came back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. But yeah, bro, it will always be the 93-20 memory because it was shared with my dad. And it was I wish it was at the game, but like the season before that, I took my dad to one game. It was shit 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace at home, right? And yeah, he couldn't go. We had to wait for the whole stadium to empty for me to help him down the stairs to get him out and whatever. So it's like we couldn't go to the game, but to experience that with him and to see my dad cry for the first time. And it's mad that my dad was just a proper old school mank that never showed emotion or nothing. Yeah. And it's mad because I think he cried because he knew he was getting to experience something with me that he probably never thought he would experience.
Yeah.
That he experienced with his dad. So I have no doubt that the reason he cried was because that probably reminded him of his dad. Because the last time he saw City win a league was with his dad. So it was like one of them ones where it's like, and apologies for crying, but I'm an emotional fucker. So
no need to apologize, man. It's amazing to hear. It's amazing, and it's an amazing experience. Like not a lot of football fans can have an experience or a moment of that magnitude. So I think it's very lucky that he was able to share that moment with your father.
100.
Like,
that's football. That's what football's about. And that season when we won the season we won the league against Liverpool, the next day I was on the train home, right? And this is mad as well. And I felt really down, right? And I messaged this is because for 5 months I'm going through a divorce. My ex-wife and my daughter were about to move out of our house. So I'm about to go from seeing my daughter 100% to 50%. And basically, for those 5 months, I had thrown all of my attention at football, right? At City, home and away. And then the season's ended. We've won the league. The Sunday, I'm mad happy, going out celebrating in Manchester. Monday morning, wake up. I'm on a train back down here to come back through the door where obviously I'm going through a divorce. And I'm sat on the train and I started feeling mad emotional. And I messaged my ex-wife at the time because we were still friends. And she was like, "I feel really emotional." And she was like, "Have you thought that's maybe because you've spent the last 5 months just chasing football, putting your all into football, and now you're back to reality for 3 months because there's no football for you to follow for 3 months now. And me and Kiana are about to move out, and I was like, rah. And it just makes you think, this is where I go back to what football is really about. And it is our release. It's our place to go. And that's why YouTube works, bro, because ultimately what we're doing is we're here talking about football. And and during COVID, when we first started Never a Foul, it was a lot of people's place to go and just speak with other people about football when you can't go to games or you can't go out to the pub or you can't do you know what? And that's the beauty, is you can speak with people, whether you be from Manchester, whether you be from Scotland, whether you be from Dubai, whether you be from Australia, you're speaking to people that share something you love. So yeah, that one was another big one for me.
Okay, so look, I didn't know, and this actually came as a shock to me. But obviously, I had to ask you. Yeah, your two favorite players. I mean, through this conversation, I kind of have an understanding as to why Vince and company, maybe one of your favorite players of all time. But Uwe Rosler is also.
So Vinny. So the Vinny one, the Vinny one is just very simple, right? And I'd never say Vinny is my hero, right? Because Vinny's just my favorite player. Like, not best City player ever in my generation. My dad will tell me Colin Bell, but I would have said is David Silva for me. Absolute genius, magician. So, but best doesn't mean favorite. For me, Vinny, firstly, like, one of the reasons why he was here before the money. You got Mark Hughes bought Vinny. Vinny came in before the money. Vinny was our captain. Vinny married a Manc. Yeah. Do you know? Mad thing, story for you. So Vinny was actually seeing his bird. So Vinny's wife, who he now has kids with, is a DJ, right? And Vinny came over to England to have a meeting with your club, right? And she went down because they were speaking. She went down to meet him, was like, "What are you doing in England?" And at this point, they were kind of, and he said, "I'm here to speak with Arsenal." And she said, "You ain't joining Arsenal. There's only one club you're joining." And I swear down that I don't know if that's gospel, but that's a rumor I've been told by someone that I think knows, because he speaks to his other half. So he was due to join your club, but he joined before the money. He was a captain. You know, you look at the goals. Like, right, if we're talking goals, you look at the headers against Man United. The Leicester goal, that was just a perfect ending. That last season, Vinny was special because, we had the Vinny that won Premier League Player of the Season. We had the Vinny that, captained us to everything. But that goal, that last season, he then got all his injuries. And unfortunately, it was so painful to see Vinny come back from one injury and then second game back, go down holding his leg again. And you could see the hurt in his face because he loved the club, right? When we won the league and he's going out the first innings to local pubs and all of that and meeting everyone. That last season, though, for 5 months, we got prime old school Vinny. Like, he was injury free, was defending like old Vinny, and then he scored that goal against Leicester. So Vinny was pretty obvious. Now, Uwe Rosler, bro, when you're a kid, when you're a grown man, you don't have heroes. You have favorites. When you're a kid, you have heroes, bro. And my hero was Rosler, bro. Like, look, Rosler 28, bro. Rosler 28, bro. And do you know what? The basics are, he was a striker. He was our number 9, bro. That's as simple as that. Like, because he was there during the era of Georgie Kinkladze, who I know if you ask Steve will say Georgie Kinkladze. Did he say Kinkladze? Yeah. Like, you ask any City fans of my age, they'll tell you about the absolute fucking genius that Georgie Kinkladze was. And please, anyone that I know I'm saying names now that some of you are like, who? Fucking, this is how shit City are. Please just Google Kinkladze. He was Georgian, right? And that's why I think we should be going in for the Napoli Don. Bro, because we were the team that brought Georgians to the Premier League. We bought Georgie Kinkladze, and then we went and bought about another 3 of his mates just because we thought, well, if one Georgian's good, they must all be good. And the other 3 were dog shit. One of them's now the Prime Minister of Georgia, right? But But Kinkladze, I'm telling you, and this sounds mad, go and watch him and watch the way Kinkladze played football. he played football like fucking Lionel Messi, yeah? He was greedy as shit, and we got relegated with him. That's the madness. We got relegated with Georgie Kincladze, yeah? But Rossler was the number 9. Rossler was the striker. Rossler was the bagsman, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean Haaland numbers. But for us at that point where we were, we got Kincladze when Tottenham got Klinsmann, right?
Yeah.
And if you remember back in those days, there was still East and West Germany. West Germany were good. East Germany was shit.
Yeah.
They got the legend that's Klinsmann from West Germany. We got Rossler from East Germany. But like we all said, Rossler's granddad bombed Old Trafford, and I don't know. Do you know much about Rossler?
Not really.
You know, went on to manage. Who did he manage? I think did he manage Burnley at one point. So he went on to be a manager. But Steve still chats to him, and when we're on away trips, sometimes like messages him, like, and he'll tell us what pubs to go to in like Leipzig. He told us what areas to go to and whatever. But bro, he was just. As a kid, when you're playing football and you're doing the celebrations, you used to do a knee slide doing that, like when he scored. And he scored like a beautiful chip against Man United in the FA Cup. Scored a couple goals against United. But he was just our bagsman. And at that point, I probably would have been about 8, 7, probably 8, 9, 10, where you're playing, like my whole life was playing football, wrestling before school, then football at lunchtime, football after school, and you're like, I'm going to be Uwe Rossler, and when you score, you're doing his celebration. So he was my hero.
Yeah, and so...
No, my lucky number's 28 because of Uwe Rossler. It's not that lucky for me, but if anyone says, what's your lucky number? It's 28 because of Uwe Rossler.
Okay. See, it's crazy the connection that we have with footballers that play for our teams, isn't it? It's crazy. But
when you're kids, you have heroes, innit? When you're grown men, you see things different. But when you're kids, like... You idolize. If you support Manchester City, your hero is probably going to be the number 9, and ain't no one telling you nothing. Like you're not saying they're the best player ever, but that's for me. That's my hero.
Yeah, no, I completely hear that. So both of them in their prime, who would you bring back into the Man City squad?
A million. Vinny, of course, but. If you're asking me who I could bring back, any Manchester City player in their prime, it would be Georgie Kincladze, because Kincladze in the City, maybe not right now, maybe not this very moment, yeah? He's the last thing we need. But Georgie Kincladze in prime Manchester City, like, we could have been different level. Because I'm telling you, bro, after this stream, Hooks, please just go on YouTube. I will send you a link of Georgie Kincladze, yeah? And you'll get what I'm talking about. The guy was a fucking magician. Like, he'd waltz through whole teams by himself, yeah? And then put the ball to the far post, and then someone like Niall Quinn, yeah, would head the ball over the bar. And it's like, what are we doing? Like, that's literally, when you see the compilation, you see him score banging goals, but then you see him put it on a plate for other players and then just put it in row Z. So, so to see him with this group, see him and David Silva together with Haaland up top or something would just be fucking mad.
You know what, yeah? Obviously, just because, you know, it's you, and I mean, like, never a foul, you know, everyone kind of, well, at least those that have been following have seen your journey all the way through. Never a foul. I guess the one question that I want to ask is, because obviously you're a fan that I would say is probably more in touch with his club than most, because you've gone to a lot of games.
Yeah.
You've seen Main Road and you've seen the Etihad. Do you feel becoming a content creator has made you support your club any differently?
Yeah, bro. It's I often say, do you know what? A great example is I was so when we were on European aways and we're with people, right? And obviously, game going fans have opinions on content creators, yeah. And often me and Steve will sometimes find ourselves having to go, do you know what? They're all right, you know, about quite a few because obviously, look, football is tribalism, yeah, and game-going fans already often do have a bit of a view on some content creators, because there's some out there that give us a bad name, right? There's some out there that, like, there's one at the moment, I don't know his name. There's a City fan that the other day I saw on TikTok posted something about 115, right? And there's no new news on 115, right? I understand when rivals do it, right? I understand totally. Listen, the last 2 times you lot have got bad results, I'm posting to stay humble here, yeah? Because we have this back and forth now, right, between our fan bases. But for a Manchester City fan to be posting something about 115 when there's no new news about it is fucking weird to me, right? And to any Man City and by the way, when you also know that you ain't never seen him at any game, home or away, right? And you're thinking, bro, you're just mashing a pea. Like, I know factually, I'm not saying he doesn't support City now. He's younger than me, so I'm not saying he doesn't. But if you understand what it is to be a fan of a club, right? When you get asked awkward questions as a content creator, you have to answer them. But you don't go and create awkward fucking narratives against your club yourself, right? And now I'm being sent clips of this guy going, is this true, Daps? I'm like, how are you a Man City fan and you're creating slander on your own fucking club? That's weird to me. To me, that like, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to support their club differently. But to me, I'm like, do you really love this club? Like, because if you do, stop with creating slander. There's enough slander about our club. You don't need to be creating some, right? Yeah. So when we're around game-going fans, some of them will have opinions on other fans. And do you know what? I'll say it, Troops, right? They have opinion, a few of them having an opinion on Troops, yeah? And I was like, you know what? Troops is a mad bless, you know? Like, Troops is a proper bless, good person, like to the point where obviously at Winkings, bro, he's feeling awkward that Steve's like, oh, rivals tears are putting on food for everyone. He's like, I want to pay him. Bro, Troops is a very good brother. Troops is someone that goes on other people's channels, done About a Fan with You. So I'm kind of, and I had to say to him, like, and even I was saying this to Arsenal fans as well, when they're saying, yeah, but you know, the Arteta out shit. And I go, let me just give you, and I've had this conversation with a few people, right? To you as an Arsenal fan, not you, Hooks, but to someone that doesn't do content as a fan of a club, you can watch the game and you can be pissed off. And you might get in your group chat with me and a few others, you might get a few digs, right? And to the point where you have to ignore the group chat because you're not in the mood. Because if you love your club and your club loses, you're pissed off, right? And you want to get on with your day, right? Now, imagine if you are a content creator. Even more so, imagine if you are a content creator of the level of Troops, the level of Expressions, the level of Big Steve, the level of Saeed, the level of these top tier man, right? And it gets a bit better for each of us. We get further down the thing, but they can't get on with their day, right? Because their job is to come on here and face the hyenas, right? Yeah. That's their fucking job, yeah? They can't ignore a WhatsApp group. And I've been with Steve when we lose a game. Steve's direct messages are 150 deep of people. And it's not even, and this is a thing, people that want to talk context, you can talk context with. Bro, there'll be shit like, hope you die of cancer. Bro, we've just lost a game. Then you've got someone telling you want to die of cancer. This is where people can understand where maybe, like Troops as an example, if you are getting that much stress on your Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening, yeah, that's put you in a bad mood, and the one way to relieve yourself of that stress, because you're looking at how can I get rid of this stress? Do you know what? This Arteta Don. That's how I can get rid of it. So that's why you have to understand as a content creator why they also might feel a bit stronger about. Now, again, we've decided to do this, yeah? So I'm not saying it as an excuse. Just understand that's why some people will have, like content creators will have stronger opinions, because when your team loses, of course, when your team wins, you get to celebrate more. But when your team loses, you also have to face a whole heap of fucking shit. Bro, there's times where we as content creators might have a plan. We lose, our plans have to change. Because if we don't, we're being told we're running away from everyone. So it does make you kind of think. I remember being on the way to Istanbul with Steve, and he goes to me, right? And remember, we'd lost one Champions League already. And he goes to me, Daps, remember when we came back from Madrid last season when we lost in the semis? And I go, yeah. He goes, it was bad, wasn't it? I go, yeah. He goes, if we lose this Champions League after we've won the FA Cup, won the Premier League, talk about us doing a treble. If we don't win this Champions League this season, and it's the second loss in a Champions League, when we get back to England, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
People are coming for our blood online. And it's true. Like that was, and I sat there thinking, fucking hell, yeah, you're right, you know. I'd never thought of it like that. So it does change how the way you support a club. And the other way, the thing that's beautiful is if you represent your club well and people can see that you really are a fan and that you're not just a content creator, I can't lie, bro. The love at games is fucking... If you truly love your club, the love at games is different, bro. Because you're thinking, hold on, as a kid, I used to come here and support my team. Yeah. Now you're walking through the stand and you're getting asked for pictures with people. And do you know, I always remember in Istanbul, a guy came up to, and obviously I know there's some people that look at me, they hear my voice and they go, oh, bro, I was at the bar in Istanbul one night, and this guy came up by the side of me and he was looking at me. And when I tell you this guy, I reckon he was at very least 85, right? He could have been older, right? And he kept looking at me and I was like, you right? And he goes, can I ask, are you Daps? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I love what you do. And at first he was mad because I'm thinking, 85, 90-year-old that's watching YouTube. Yeah. He was like, I love what you do. He goes, and I watch whenever I see you and Steve on shows, I watch religiously. And I know you get a bit of stick about your accent and that people say how long. He goes, but I can see a blue when I know a blue when I see one. And he goes, and just keep representing the club the way you represent the club. And I was just like, of any compliments I've got off of anyone, to hear it from like an 85, 90-year-old Man City fan, like that, it's like, do you know what? Yeah, this is, and that's a bit why me and Steve want to start this new channel, just to keep it a bit more real about City and not take City a bit more back to the old school. That's where if you ever hear a City fan say something about, you know what, if we do get relegated, we will still be there. There's elements of us that get excited by the thought of getting tickets being that little bit easier. And like the United game, I'll be honest, bro, it didn't end well. We lost. But in a weird way, our poor run of form brought a lot of old faces out for the recent derby, because it was like all of a sudden this game means a lot now because it's the only fucking bragging rights we've got again. So yeah, it does change the way you support your club a bit, but you have to be, bro, you have to be more invested. You have to.
No, I agree. So look, final question from me. What does being a fan mean to you, and can you imagine a world without Manchester City?
A world without Manchester City, bro, that year after the divorce, the 6 months after the divorce, if there wasn't for Manchester City, there might not be Daps.
Yeah. Shows you the levels. Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah. Shows you how important a football club can be to a...
And it's not just a football club, it's the community around it. It's the people that you meet week in, week out. It's the people you travel to away games with. It's like Steve, that 6 months after the divorce, like, was a rock for me, bro. Like, like that, like, so now, bro, a world without City right now would be, like, now I'm cool, bro, by the way. Like, I'm not saying now, but when I was at my lowest, football saved me. Like, football and Manchester City, real talk. And when I say Manchester City, I mean everything around Manchester City. It saved me. It fully saved me from doing something dark and horrible. Right? That, and I'll probably say YouTube as well. And a lot of the content creators on YouTube, like, they saved me. Like, and my daughter was that. Them three things, that was it. And what was the first question was,
what does being a fan mean to you?
What does being a fan mean? Being a fan means this, bro. Like, do you know what? That's where I will laugh, but I'll probably laugh a bit less than Cass and other people when CB laughs. But I've messaged CB after the show and said, I get it, bro. And like, it's funny, but at the same time, bro, we all have love for different things. And if his love for Chelsea is that deep, like it is, and when I watch him, bro, that's real love. He loves Chelsea on a next level, yeah? You need to do one of these with him. Yeah, that would be wild.
I've done one already.
Oh, if you've done one, I need to watch that then. But for me, football means memories. That is what football is about. Football is about memories. Sometimes you have to strip it back and think about what football is. It is a sport. It is a pastime. It's a hobby when you're a kid. When you're older, yeah, it's your release. It's your way to make memories. Your way to experience everything. Like chance. Like, bro, do you know what? So there's a love and hate between me and Arsenal, of course. And I think for people that wonder why it is, I'll be honest, your fan base is mad online. One, that's one reason. Two, I live down south. My whole friendship circle, minus Cass and Soups, because, well, Soups is my best friend, Cass is through YouTube. But apart from Soups, my whole friendship circle is Arsenal. Yeah. Like, and even the ones that don't watch football, if they ever mention about, I'm getting a bit into football, the rest are like, lads, get him a ticket. We're taking him Arsenal, right? It's like you don't get a choice in our group. Like, I came into the group as a City fan. So it's like, well, Daps came in as a City fan. So Daps City. Everyone else is Arsenal, right? So you got to think that's where there is a bit more of a hate or banter between me and Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
But a prime example is, bro, when you're at the game and you hear North London Forever, does it ever give you goosebumps?
All the time.
Right. Because, bro, football is emotions. Football is emotions. Yeah. That is what it is. Like, I can't lie. I'll always remember seeing Celtic and Liverpool both sing "You'll Never Walk Alone" together, bro. Goosebumps. Like seeing obviously it's City games when we sing Blue Moon or an Oasis song. Goosebumps. It's about moments, memories, emotions, and people like enjoying what it is. We pay our money to fucking watch this, to enjoy it. That's what it's actually here for. If you strip everything back, the winning, only the lucky ones get to win. Winning's a bonus. Winning's a bonus. And if people ever kind of consider not going to games or consider not changing who they support because they're not winning, you don't get it. That's not what football, like, as kids we get taught about fucking taking part. Yeah. It's not winning, it's taking part that counts. And of course, I'm not trying to breed a loser mentality or nothing, yeah. But that is the truth of it. Like, you're lucky if you win. It makes it feel better, but you should never change you as a fan.
100%. I think being a fan transcends like winning a trophy. Personally, in my opinion, I think
you're not doing football right if you're not doing football right if it doesn't.
Like, if you're being a fan because you want to see your team win a trophy, then I don't know. I think that's a bit odd, isn't it? Like, I feel like the trophy comes as like a byproduct of you being a fan. It should never be the other way around. But hey, I've loved this conversation.
Sorry, can I just say, I just saw someone in the comments real quick say, Daps, you wouldn't be Daps without Never a Foul. Firstly, two things. Firstly, Never a Foul would not be existing without Daps. Yeah. Secondly, Daps was Daps before Never a Foul because Daps was a DJ and Daps was my DJ name. So Daps was nothing to do with Never a Foul.
Yeah. Hey, that's a conversation for another time. But hey, thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story. I definitely enjoyed it. I hope everyone that is tuned in now enjoyed the story, and I hope everybody that watches it on playback, enjoys what they hear. I just need a few things from everyone that's currently inside. Just make sure on the way out you're liking the video. Make sure on the way out, if you're not already, you are subscribed to the channel and subscribe to Never a Foul and subscribe to the channel that I believe is in the pinned tweet or is somewhere at the top. It's a channel that I've made specifically for About the Fan. There should be a video. Yeah, the video should have already dropped. There's 2 videos on there now. So go check it out. Go show it some love. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time.
Love.
Peace.